Ever since I was born, I knew I could look up to my big brother, Georgie. He was always there for me all the time. Whenever I needed a jar opened or my shoelace tied or just someone to talk to. He grew up a pretty normal life. My dad immigrated from Georgia and brought us with him. Georgie and I never had an issue adjusting to Canadian life. Well, at first. But once grade 6 rolled around, Georgie started to act out. He learned a little bit about the country of Ireland, and something in him just clicked. He loved Ireland. That was weird. He had never been there. He had no Irish blood, but he didn't care. He loved it.
One of the most alarming things that my son had done was running for school student president. He promised make his school great again. I don't even know what he means. Like, what does that mean? Like, he was gonna change the mascot from a polar bear to a leprechaun, and I don't know. And then he was gonna start an underground terror cell to promote, like, getting away from England. Like, I don't get it. And then I remember that the teacher at the time was saying, I have never seen this in all her years of teaching. And she was 80 at the time. She was 80. Now she's dead. She's dead. Like, do you get it? She's dead.
The big turning point in Georgie's life was when he came out to Dad and I with an announcement. This was after he turned 18. I believe it was on St. Patrick's Day, if you would believe it.
Possibly the worst moment of my life.
Hi everybody. I'm glad that you all came here. All two of you, for this family meeting. It means a lot. I have something real important to tell you guys.
What is it, Georgie? I'll be here for you.
What is it, Georgie? You can tell me. I will support you fully.
I'd like to tell you guys that I am Irish.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
I've gone to City Hall and I've changed my ethnicity to Irish.
Georgie, what? This makes absolutely no sense. Like, what are you talking about?
It gets better. I've changed my name from Georgie Margalabeshi to Colin McFinnigan.
What are you talking about? It's safe to say Dad was not pleased with Georgie's big change in life. Pretty soon after, Colin was kicked out of the house.
I was not having that in my house. And he was lost, and I'm okay with that, and I can even respect it, like, a little bit. But, like, I can't just go find yourself somewhere else.
I tried to help him, I really did, but he was so difficult to work with. He would never answer you if you called him Georgie, which is his real name, by the way. And I forgot what he was calling himself half the time, so I didn't know what to do when I needed his help.
I think that a year or two passed, and Georgie, Colin, came back to me, and he asked me for some money. He said that he was going to be using it for textbooks to go to college. Like, I get that. I went to college. I need textbooks. But, when I found out what he was actually doing with with that money. I was so outraged. He needed to go find himself. Like, what does that mean? What does any of this mean?
I
got a phone call from Colin, a wee fella that I had come across at a Walmart buying potatoes. I have no idea how he knew I was Irish. He said he could sense family. That made me uncomfortable. Anyways, Colin gave me a call asking if I wanted to go home. When I responded that I was already home, he elaborated that he meant our homeland. So he was asking me to drop everything and go join him in Ireland. So naturally I went with him. Looking back at it now, I should have not fed into his obsession like I did, but I tend to move forward in life, and that's in the past now, so I shouldn't dwell on it.
Things were quiet after he left. I hadn't heard anything from him in a while. I was getting a tiny bit worried, but I did remember who my son became, and, I got a call from Colin's friend, Quinn.
Colin decided that he was going to start living in Ireland on birthright. So there are two big problems with this one. Number one, Ireland does not have a birthright immigration policy, and number two, Colin isn't Irish. So I called his dad. I thought hopefully he could convince him to come home to his real family.
I tried everything, and I gotta stress, I tried everything, but it didn't work. Colin wanted to stay in the homeland. So another week or two passed. I thought maybe Quinn had made a breakthrough with Colin, but I was deeply mistaken.
So Colin and I met after my staff informed me that there was a man sleeping on one of the benches. My gut reaction was to have him removed or charged for trespassing, but I wanted to meet this intruder. He introduced himself as Colin McFinnigan, but his passport said he was a Canadian citizen of Georgian descent named Georgie. I tried to question this discrepancy with who he claims to be and his passport, but he was too drunk to fully understand what I was saying. But this poor sap said he was homeless, and that a pack of crazy football fans had tried to kill him for wearing the away team's colors, the wrong colors. But as I was talking to this guy, I learned that Ireland probably wasn't the place for him.
I get a letter from the Canadian ambassador to Ireland, and I'm thinking like, oh, what did he do this time? Like I known him for his whole life, and he's been through some crazy stuff. And now, this. He was informing me that my son was being deported for civil disturbances, including, but not limited to, and hold on, let me just get out the sheet here. I brought the sheet with me, just so that I get all of this right, because I can't even remember all the stuff he was in. So, arrested for public indecency, touching the corpse of St. Patrick, and setting up an apartment for himself in the famous Guinness storehouse, inside a cleaning closet. In a cleaning closet, man. After that, especially with the whole touching the corpse of St. Patrick thing, like, we knew it was time for him to come home.
After the Ireland incident, I hadn't heard much from Colin. I'm talking like months, until one fateful day at the Irish pub that opened up a couple doors down from Colin's house.
Yeah, it was the first day of this pub opening up that I first met Colin. Colin and I, we had an almost religious friendship. You know, it was great. As a janitor, I don't get to interact with many customers, so Colin, he was a change of pace. Fresh thing for me. We saw each other every Sunday morning. I would sing with him.
It was Sunday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day 2013. The entire Irish embassy in Ottawa was on lockdown. there was an intruder in the building. Security told me that there was a crazed drunk who was desperate to be inside the embassy. They said that he's posed a small but significant threat, and he was unpredictable, therefore potentially dangerous. The whole week leading up to St. Patrick's Day, reports of Irish memorabilia, flags, coffee mugs that said, "Don't talk to me until I've had my morning pint," random Irish stuff, stolen. Then that morning, a secretary alerted us that they had seen evidence that a man had been living in our vents for at least a couple of days. The alarm was pulled. Eventually we caught him, asked him why on earth he would do this. He was desperate to be on Irish soil, saying he was homesick. Considering that he wasn't Irish, I was concerned for his mental health and recommended that he would be committed to an institution.
After the embassy situation in Ottawa, not to be confused with the embassy situation in Dublin, Colin went to the pub even more.
Colin was at the bar more often, and Colin paid me a little bit extra to mix in some green dye into his drinks. You know, like the green dye that you put in your beer for St. Patrick's Day? I guess Colin got a bulk shipment of that at Costco. I didn't think any of them knew have it at the time.
Colin came to me, admitting that he had a drinking problem. He asked if I could recommend him a doctor that he could see.
Colin came into my office to see if his alcohol problem had caused internal damage. I informed him no, but I did inform him that the excessive amount of green dye had began a process that was starting to turn his skin green. Not good at all. Now what you need to understand is that Colin was the first case of this disease. So I immediately documented and patented the name of this disease. Irvitaritis. You get it? Ire, because of Ireland. Avatar, because of the oddly colored creatures in the film Avatar. And itis, because there was a weird inflammation in his liver. Probably normal. I knew Colin was my cash cow. By the way, I'm going on a book tour. It's for my new book. Asclepius Wept. Ain't Got Nut in on Me. By me, Dr. Nut. It's about how I'm the greatest doctor ever. Me, Dr. Nut. Colin recommended that I prescribe him some medicinal clovers to ease the pain of withdrawal.
I'd gotten a call from Colin's doctor telling me that Colin can't be allowed to have any more green dye in anything. No green dye in his burgers, eggs, anything. Now, I don't take too kindly to taking orders from anyone, especially after asking his name, Dr. Nut. That's a name I cannot trust. So I didn't listen, and whenever Colin came over, I continued getting his drinks, and I added green dye.
I had seen Georgie scrounging around in public parks trying to find as many clovers as he could.
I could tell that the dye problem had returned. Colin had relapsed.
Colin wasn't in great condition. I could tell that he was dying. So I decided to stop by his house to see how he was doing. That's where I found him.
The police report said that Colin died from injecting green dye into his heart. While I would have wished a peaceful death for my son, the police did say there were signs of struggle, and Colin definitely struggled a lot.
I will remember Colin for our Sunday morning chats, singing to him as he woke up and wiping the vomit off his glove. And of course the Irish national anthem.
I will remember Colin as the subject of my new book, eh? Asclepius Wept. Ain't Got Nuts in on Me. By me, Dr. Nut.
I'll remember Colin for giving pretty okay tips, and for his designated Ireland-themed cup that he demanded that he drank out of every time he entered my pub.
I remember Colin, not only for the time he broke into the embassy, but for the really neat Christmas card that he gave me that year. He never returned that coffee mug, but whatever, he's dead now. I'll remember Colin for the mountains of paperwork I had to fill out to get him back home to Canada.
And although my brother died alone, sad and green, I will always remember that weirdo as the boy that took his love of the Irish culture a little too close to the heart.